Good morning.
Good morning, Tasha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Fabulous.
Thanks for popping on today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks like we had 12 people sign up, so just waiting for people to hop on.
Awesome. And
We are recording this, so we'll
Dad has a
upload it to
cool
YouTube
disco
when
ball
we're done.
background. Okay, great. Yeah, I had a few people email me and say, "What if I can't make it at that time?" And I was like, "I'm sure that can
Yes, it'll be recorded and we'll have a YouTube link for that.
Great.
I think Dad's just getting his setup under control over there.
Yeah, it's all a process. It seems like it's new every time we have to do another call.
I know, you think we'd be experts by now.
How are you?
Good, doing well. Busier than ever currently, but doing well.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Although I suppose busy is all relative these days.
Well, and it beats the alternative.
Right.
Dad looks so serious. Pretty early in the morning to be that serious, Dad.
There he is. Okay.
Now I can't, can you have it so I can share my screen? I've got like a PowerPoint.
Yes.
Or I can just talk. It's okay. I can send the PowerPoint afterwards too. Dad, can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay. You look so serious.
Sorry, I was like, where's my controls? My controls. Oh my gosh, we have people on.
Yes, we have people on. Okay, Tasha, you should have controls over there.
Well, I don't want all controls. I just want to be able to share my screen. Okay, fabulous.
I just made you a co-host, so you should be able to share your screen there.
Okay.
I don't want too much power.
I know, exactly. I'd like a limited amount, not enough, but
responsibility.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Not too much.
Dad, what number of cups of coffee is that this morning?
This is just 3.
Wow. Okay.
I got the refills here, so when the little cup runs out, I've got more.
Got the reinforcements.
Hope you don't need it to stay that awake during this talk.
No.
Well, Thad, it looks like we have the majority of the people on. If you want to introduce Tasha.
Who?
Our speaker today.
Oh.
Oh.
That person. Well, hello everybody and welcome to our Business Success Group COVID edition with our remote access. We'd hoped to really be doing these in person at Task. They had a great classroom set up for us and everything, but I'm very happy that Kelly in the chamber and our speakers have been adaptable to our situation. So being able to do these virtually, which means everyone's in their pajamas at home and they don't have to get dressed up and drive anywhere. Our speaker today is Tasha Knight. She runs web design by night. Is that right, Tasha?
By night.
Okay, by night. Tasha is, and she's not going to like this, but she is a web genius. She does website building, management, and she has an amazing blog that can give you information that you can use for your own websites. Whether you do it yourself or you have someone do it for you, Tasha is the person to go to for knowledge, information, and practical usage. So now that I've made her out to be the ominous god of the website, she's going to tell us some great information that we can actually use and put into practice to make our businesses and our lives much better. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tasha.
Thank you. Thank you. Like Thad said, I'm Tasha with Web Design by Night. Me and my team work with businesses to help promote their websites. So I'd like this to be an interactive talk, and I know that, you know, I'll try to watch the chat. So if you have questions throughout, feel free to ask, and I'm more than happy to answer, stop along the way if you have any questions. So I'm just going to jump right in so we have enough time at the end for questions and we can field those and maybe go into more specifics. I'm going to share my screen here. So today we are going to talk about 8 ways to increase your website visibility. Some of these are on website and some of them are off website. I personally have been doing website design for over 20, I'll just say 20 years. So I'm an original HTML hard coder, but me and my team can provide search engine blogs that are blog specific, and we can help maintain and increase your visibility with your website. But a lot of the stuff, if you have the time and the energy, you can do it alone. You can do it on your own, and if you get stuck somewhere, feel free to, you know, give me a call, drop me an email, or, you know, a text, and I'm more than happy to share my knowledge to help you, you know, move forward successfully. And I do have this in a PDF, the PowerPoint and PDF, so I can email it to Kelly at the chamber to get out to everybody afterwards if you'd like it. The first thing we're going to talk about is on your website. So when you're on your website, one of the best things you can do is add and grow to your website over time. This means things like adding pages to your website, adding blogs to your website, if you have images to your website. One of the real benefits we're seeing right now is the use of video, adding video to your website. If you have PDFs, if you have marketing materials, I would encourage everybody to have an FAQ page. So, and I'll come back to that in just a minute. And if you can add testimonials. So one of the things that Google does is they go to your website, they look at all your pages, including blogs, and see how your website is ranking with them with keywords and all of that. Then they come back over a short period of time and say, oh, look, you know, this is all the same. And, you know, so I don't need to come back as frequently. So they won't come back as frequently if you're not continually adding content. If Google comes to your website and says, oh, look, they have a new blog this month, that's great. I'm going to take all these keywords and then I'm going to check again in a few weeks and see if they have more content. And if they do have more content, then they will, you know, obviously come back more frequently and check you out. So if you have information that you need to add to your website, let's say you have 12 blogs that you want to add those to your website continually over time. You don't want to just put all 12 up because Google will go, oh, this is great, this is all this information, and they'll come back in subsequent months and say, well, but they haven't added anything. It's better for your website if you add it continually over time. So you add one blog one month, one blog the next month, and continually add and grow your website. That's what Google really wants to see. And if I can highlight anything here on the slide, it's to add an FAQ section. If you do nothing else, please add an FAQ section to your website. And those will be frequently asked questions that visitors to your website, when they call, people always have the same question: or when you meet people in person, they say, what about this? Your FAQ question section can continually grow, but you can add information to your website that is relevant to not only your clients, but to Google. So Google takes those questions, because when people type into search engines, they say, what's the best place to get a chocolate cake? And so if in your FAQ section you answer whatever Google question they have, then that will definitely help your rankings with Google. So please, please, please add an FAQ section to your website, and you can grow that, at any point. You can put, 1 or 2 sentences in, or add new questions at any point, and that is going to help you with Google and search engine optimization. A next thing, kind of a next pro tip from this website is make sure to add your videos. Videos are hot right now. They don't have to be long. They don't necessarily have to be professional, but we have a Fenton client, Waterproof Solutions, and Stephen and his team have started adding his short videos to his, we've added them to his website, and those videos have been, taking their traffic through the roof. So, adding those videos slowly over time, we're adding 1 or 2 a week, and now we have pages of videos, and that helps you with not only cross-trafficking between, Facebook or YouTube, where we have the videos, and your website. So that's really, that can really be beneficial to your whole team and your website. And I can't see the chat, so I don't know if anybody has any questions. So Thad or Kelly, can you just jump in if I'm going too fast or people have questions? Okay, so we're going to move on from growing and adding your website. The next thing on your website, and I will get to some off-website stuff here in a few steps, but on your website, you want to use relevant content. Words, words, words. You want lots of words. And I have, a majority of my clients are like, no, I don't want all those words on my website. And I understand that. Websites normally, they're going down to be more mobile friendly and more minimalistic, but you need the words because that's what Google uses to rank you. So if Google can't find any words on you and your business, that's going to that it's not going to help you. You can have the most beautiful minimalistic website in the world, but if you don't have any words that are telling Google how to rank you, then you're not going to be found. So add words, add lots of words, lots of keywords. We want all that, sorry. So even if you that people, your clients, are not reading those, Google does. So just keep that in mind.
Tasha, before we go on,
yes.
before we go further, we did have a question.
Okay, great.
Somebody said, Kathy asked, how often do you add FAQs? Weekly?
FAQs, I would add, if you could add an FAQ every week, that would be fabulous. And that would be great. If you can add, just keeping the page fresh is always going to help you. So if you add 1 FAQ a week, that's great. That's awesome. If you have other pages that you're just going in and tweaking a language and maybe moving content or adding content, Google likes to see that, and they know that. So when Google sees you interacting with your website and changing things, they're more apt to come back more frequently to see how to rank you. And one of the things that people always ask, how do you get ahead of your competition? Basically, you have to see what your competition is doing and then just do it better. So if they're adding 1 blog a month, you're going to need to add at least 1 blog a month. If they're, updating 5 pages throughout their website every week, then, if you want to compete with them, you're going to have to do the same thing. So to straightforward answer your question, if you could add 1 FAQ a week, that would be fabulous. And Google would really love that. And so, yeah, does that answer the
I think so, yeah.
question?
And then back to putting videos on your website, what's the best way to put videos on your WordPress site?
That is a great question. And I can actually send an email or add it to the end of this slideshow. The best way to add videos to your website is to have them already hosted on somewhere like Facebook or YouTube. So let's take Facebook and YouTube. If the video is on those different platforms, then you just want to take the embed code and embed it in your website. And the easy way to do that on both platforms, it's normally you click the share button, and then there's some sort of code that's, you can link to the website or you can send it to a friend. One of those should say embed. And if you take that embed code, all you have to do is copy it, go over to your WordPress site, and open whatever page or blog you want to put that in, and then insert that as text. So you don't want in WordPress, there's a visual tab and there's a text tab. So you want to enter it as text because it's code. But if you have problems with that, just let me know. And once you do it a few times, it's very easy to have a video on Facebook, and then in addition embed that video onto your website. So if you get a routine in, it can be very beneficial to you, because of course Facebook and YouTube love you to have videos playing on your website, because that gets them more traffic and recognition, and it gets you because you have the cross-pollination between your platforms and your website. But if you do have any questions on embedding, just let me know. Okay, we all good? All right, I'll continue on. It's hard to do this because it's like radio silence. I can't see the chat. So, okay, so words. You're using lots of words. You're adding FAQs. You're adding pages, hopefully. Each page, blog, on your website should have at least one keyword or keyword phrase focus. I'm going to give an example. I pretty much give it all my talks, but search engine optimization is boiled down into what we call long tail keywords. And long tail keywords are keywords that are specific exactly to your industry. So in the past, years ago, when you were on Google and you wanted a chocolate cake, you would just type in chocolate cake. But the internet has grown and people are so sophisticated in their searching, nobody types in chocolate cake anymore. If I'm going to go to Google, I'm going to type in, I want a chocolate cake with ganache topping and raspberry filling in Fenton. And so if you have, then that's a long tail keyword. That's what people are searching. So if you can take that phrase and have that phrase on your website or on that page in probably multiple locations on that page, then Google is going to pick that up. Google wants to give your clients and give Google visitors the most relevant content to their search. So if you have that focus, those long tail keywords on your website, Google is going to recognize that and put you up higher than your competition if you have it as your keywords on that page. And we're going to talk about a little bit about keywords on the next slide. So the next thing is to use layman terms. Don't get overly technical unless that is your business. Maybe query your clients to see how they would find you on Google, and that will give you a good set of keywords. So if you have you and your team and your clients all come up with keyword lists for you, that will be different. Those will be different words. So make sure to check with everybody, see how they find you, and then come up with your keywords, because your set of keywords might be completely different than your client's set of keywords. Just because it's your business and the ins and outs in the industry, they might be getting to you in a different way. So make sure to check, your keywords and add those in throughout. One other thing that Google tries to do for visitors is they want you to inform and educate people. So they want to know that you are, you're a legitimate business and you're not just out there sell. You're trying to help inform, educate your client base. And that's one thing that you can, oh, I see a hand raised, but I don't know how to get to it. Okay, I'm sorry. I know there's something. Chat. Okay.
I believe Deb Bokemper,
Okay, I found it. Yes.
she had a question about, can you give an example of a business to use keywords?
So if, let's say, Thad's business, right? He does balloon designs. He entertains. He's an entertainer. He's, he has all those words on his website. He might want to have a specific blog about a party that he went to or an event that he hosted, that him and his team went to. So keywords for that would be, let's say he went to the Fenton Chamber Luncheon and gave away a balloon, he gives away his balloon designs. So he could have a whole blog. He could drop the keywords of Fenton, balloon creations, parties and entertainment. So he could add all those keywords in that would help him get local traffic because he uses the word Fenton. He would, referencing the Fenton Chamber of Commerce is always a good idea because it has a really good reputation on the web. And his balloon creations. So those would all be keywords that he would want to combine on that page. And Deb, did that help with the example? Okay. Well, I'll try to keep the chat up. So if that didn't answer it, let me know and I can explain it in a different way. Also, if you want to talk more about keywords, if we're taking that as an example, he can write an informative educational blog about his balloon creations, maybe how his team coordinates their masterpieces that they make. He could have a whole article about that would help, not only inform people more about his business and his team, but educate them on, the balloon creations that he does. And that would only help with traffic. Okay, so information, and make sure to ask your clients because your clients might have different ways that they find you on Google. People might not necessarily, when they're looking for some help with their website, they might not know to look for website management. So you need to find, other words that people might be searching for in Google. Okay, we're gonna party along here to slide 3. Okay, so we're gonna talk more about keywords. So let's say you have your keywords. It's gonna be balloon creations, Fenton. Those will be our 2 examples. And so if I'm writing a blog or a page on those using those keywords, you want to add those keywords throughout the blog or article or the page. You want to have your keywords. There's H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags. Those are basically called header tags. So if you have, if you're in WordPress and you're in WordPress, you have, this is a new post that I created. I say, welcome to the Fenton Chamber. And I have, H1 tags. So if I click on H1, here's how you designate an H1 tag. If I want to change this to an H2 tag, I just pick H2. So that goes down to the same size.
Tasha, I think we're still.
So you want, yeah. I'm sorry, what?
I think we're still seeing slide 2.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know
There
that
we
I
go.
had to go over there. Thanks, thanks, Dad. I'm all just partying along here. So this is an H2 tag, and in WordPress, one of the ways you tell is you have this drop down where you can pick which size tag you want. You don't have to get crazy with it. You don't have to have a H1, H2, H3, H4. You don't have to go down the list. I would suggest at least one, if not two H1 tags. If you can get one or two H2 tags, H3 tags is just kind of like icing on the cake. But in these tags, so these are like, you're going to want to put Fenton, yeah, okay. You guys can see my terrible typing abilities. So if Thad's writing a blog about this, he's going to want to put, basically he has the keywords of balloon, he has the keywords of the Fenton chamber, and event is neither here nor there really, but and then he can have other keywords here about his balloon creations. So you want to have your keywords. I'm going to go back over here. So you're going to want to have your keywords not only in your header tags, but you're going to have it to want it in your keywords throughout the website. And this is kind of a pro tip if we're going to go down to images. Images on your website, if you just upload them from your camera, it's going to be, named mig1123.jpg. If you can rename and resize your images, that will really help with search engine optimization. So if we go back to Thad's example, if he names his image, balloon creations dash Fenton dash chamber dash, Sammy J balloons dot JPEG, that Google can understand that, because Google is saying, oh, this is going to be about balloon creations in Fenton, Sammy J dot JPEG, so it knows what that image is. So that will be really helpful in your website search engine optimization if you can rename your images. And also I implore you to resize your images before you upload them. You don't need a 2000 pixel image straight from your camera on your website. That's going to slow it down. So if you can resize and rename your images, that is awesome. When you load images up into your website, I'll do one more screen share just so you can, shoot, that didn't work. Here we go. Can you guys see that? Okay. I use a program called Yoast SEO, and that is, it's a common search engine optimization program. It's very popular, very stable. But you can add metadata to it, where you can come in and say, this basically tells Google what the page is about, and you can put a description here. So if you use more keywords in your metadata, that will also help you. And if you have more questions about Yoast, I don't want to get too deep into that, but a lot of people forget to put, a description of the page. And Google, this is what Google sees. And most of the time it's in your Google search, what the words that you get underneath what the main page is named. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the slideshow. Okay, and page tags, those are also on the right side of your WordPress bar where you can put more keywords. So anywhere you can drop keywords is very helpful, but I caution you, make it readable. Google does not like it when they can't read it. If you just have, if you list zip codes and commas, or just, Fenton, comma, De Pere, comma, Chesterfield, comma, they're not going to like things like that. It has to be readable content. But Google does like lists. So if you have lists and you can make, comprehensive lists of information, they do like that also. Optimizing your website. This is kind of just an overview. You want to make sure that your website is current and up to date, not only for security reasons, but the best practices are normally used on the most recent versions of the software. You want to use your H1 tags, your H2 tags. You want to use proper grammar, syntax, meaning you want complete paragraphs. You want your list to be formatted correctly. Use your metadata. You want to link to other people's websites and your website. So on a blog, you might want to link out to another page. In Thad's example, you might want to link back to your shopping cart so that people can buy balloon creations and send them to people. You might want to link to your contact page. You might want to link to your FAQ page. So if you can link throughout your page to other places on your website, and if there are external places that you can link to that have good authority, that will help you and help the external site also. Use your tags. Oh boy, sorry, went way ahead there. Use your tags, name and resize all your images. Okay, so I'm going to go on to step 4. So let's talk, now we're going to kind of move off of the website, and we're going to talk about increasing engagement throughout the internet. Basically, engagement equals visibility. The more information you put out there, and the greater visibility you're going to have. You want to refer traffic back and forth from your website to social media, and that social media can be anything from Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Houzz, Angie's List, whatever your niche is, and wherever you get the most engagement is where I would definitely live. So refer traffic back and forth. So in your Facebook posts, send people to your website, specific pages, not just your home page. You want to send them to specific pages. And from your website, you can also link back to Facebook or YouTube. I forgot to put YouTube in here. I can't believe that. That is a big oversight. So that referring traffic gets you recognition in both places, not only on your website and Google seeing that traffic, but on the referring like Facebook or Google or YouTube. In your social engagement, whatever media platform you prefer, make sure to like and to comment. Make sure to send people to other places. You want just as much as you can engage in that traffic will be very beneficial for you. And website links. So make sure on your website to link out if you can embed, and this includes embedding videos. So if you can embed videos on your website from YouTube or from Facebook, that's awesome, and it will really help your engagement levels. Other places to link to, places like the chambers, and the chambers all link back to you, so that's definitely a benefit. If you have any organizations, you can do some cross-traffic publicizing between those organizations, affiliations, sponsorships that you do, and any industry-specific places. If you can get those link referrals back and forth, it's always it can be a big help to your organization. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so I'm going to go on. Coordinating your social media. When you have new blog posts, when you have new pages, even, Deb, going back to your question, when you have, you're adding new FAQs, it doesn't hurt to go over to LinkedIn and say, we got asked this question today. It's in our FAQ section. Check it out. And, so that tells all your LinkedIn viewers, that tells them that you're adding new content, number one. Number two, it refers them back to your website, which is always a great thing. And maybe you can get more engagement that way. So yeah, refer people back to your website. Again, I can't stress enough, embedding videos is fabulous. You can get some real cross traffic and some real notification when, in Google, when you start doing that on a regular basis. And it's always good to comment, like, and share with people on social media. Yeah, engagement equals visibility. We're working on, okay, we're working on a proud member photo for Fenton Chamber. Awesome. So yeah, anything you can do to, add stuff, have contests, have people send in photos. That's, that's awesome ideas. Okay, so we're going to move on to slide 7. Now this is more off-site stuff to get your website more visible. Get business reviews. Business reviews are, whatever your platform of choice. Of course, I think Google should be your #1 priority of place to get reviews. I tell people all the time, there are 2 types of people who are going to use Google reviews. People who are upset and have a grudge and aren't going to rank very well or rate you very well, and people who are asked. So if you aren't asking your clients for Google reviews, you need to start, because happy clients will really help your Google reviews. If they can go in and leave a positive Google review, that will help you so much. So you have to start asking your clients for Google reviews, and that will help with your Google visibility. And when people are vetting you, the first thing most people do is they go to Google and they look up your business. So if you have a 5-star business, that's really going to influence them, especially if they look at your competition. If you have more stars and more stars than your competition, most people are going to choose the more stars. And so you can't just ask for Google reviews and leave it at that. One of the things that you do have to do is you have to respond to every Google review you get, whether good, bad, or indifferent. You need to respond, because that not only, 1, shows engagement, but 2, it tells the people who are reviewing or vetting you, looking at those reviews, that you care about what people are saying about you and you're engaging with them. And it also has the added benefit of, when you get your bad review, and everybody gets them, it's just going to happen. Sometimes those bad reviews aren't even clients of yours. And so if you have a record of responding to all reviews, when that bad review comes, you can do a little bit of, damage control on saying, look, I understand that you had a bad experience. I don't see you as a client in our database, but I'm more than willing to help, fix the problem or whatever the issue is. So if you can respond to all reviews, whether good or bad, that will help your reputation on Google, and Google notices that. You can also, Facebook reviews are great to ask for, LinkedIn recommendations. If you're industry specific, if you're, in construction, or, you can do House, Angie's List, all the, Better Business Bureau is always a great one. And any local organizations that you have that will you can have leave a review on. And this is just kind of a kind note to all the chamber members: help promote other members. So if you're interacting with a business and you get great service, then leave them a positive review. I encourage business owners to ask for reviews, but it doesn't hurt, especially in this time that we're living in now, where more people are virtual, to go help businesses out that could really use some positive encouragement and Google reviews. So don't forget your other members. And this is number 8, coordinate with Google. Work with Google as much as you can. Google basically, they have 68% of the world's search traffic. So all the information that you can give them is only going to help you. Make sure that you have a Google business account. Make sure that that is current. I hate to even bring it up, but Google has been having a kind of a rough time keeping up with the COVID and all the updates to the business accounts. And they've been doing some, they've just watch your Google business account. They've closed a few businesses that I've known of that are not closed. So you can go in and, of course, reopen the business if it shows you a shutdown, but go in and check and make sure you're in the proper categories, make sure your address is right, make sure your phone number is right. So just be kind and show some love to your Google business account. Google has Google Posts, not a lot of engagement there, but it never hurts to, when you post a blog or a new page or an FAQ or a video on your website, to go and tell Google about it. Of course, Google reviews. Google, in your Google business account, you also have Google Images, so you can add images of your business, of your team, maybe of products you have to offer, services you have to offer. You can add images, so that's always helpful too. I encourage everyone on their website to have Google Analytics. It's a free program that just tracks your visitor engagement over time, and it's free, so it's good to have on your website, just so that you can track information. And even if you don't look at it but once a year or once a quarter, it's always good to have that historical information. And Google also has Google Search Console. That's where you can submit your Google sitemaps. The Yoast program in WordPress is what I was talking about earlier. They have an automatic sitemap submission, so you can go in and tell Google, this is my sitemap, and Yoast will say, when your sitemap is changed, Google will search that and know about it. But it's good to let Google know, this is where my sitemap is, so that they can find you. Oops. Okay. So that is all the 8 steps to helping your website be more visual. And I can field some questions.
One question we've had here is, if I don't understand H1, H2 sitemap and Google Analytics, what do I do?
So, well, you can always call me and I can give you a short little tutorial, but you can always Google it too. So the H1, H2, H3, those are basically, what to the visitor, all they see is that the lines are bigger and they more stand out. But you can, give me a call. I'm more than happy to just, help you out, and we can talk through it for 10-15 minutes, whatever it takes, and you can be on your way. That's the easiest. If you and of course we're here if you really want to rock your website and you want us to maintain it over time and help you grow it. We have that that capability and that staff on hand to help you really blow your business out of the water.
And then someone had a question about video. If I take a video on my phone, how do I get it to my website?
I don't recommend that you upload your videos to your website. The main reason is if you start doing that on a continual basis, your website is going to get really big size-wise, and if more than one person at a time are trying to play that video on your website, it can really slow your server performance down. So 1 or 2 videos hosted on your website are probably okay, but I would recommend, if you take a video on your phone, to upload that video either into Facebook or YouTube or Vimeo, whatever your video of choice is, and then embed that video into your website, because then all the server resources are on Facebook or YouTube or Vimeo, and when the person plays it on your website, it's not taking your server resources up. It's pulling them from wherever you're embedding them from.
A comment from Jeffrey Wolf. He says, great presentation.
Thank you.
Then a question from Sherry. On average, what is the cost to have someone create and drive my website? And that's just a big, that's a huge question. It's like, it's really,
if you need a new website, it really depends on the functionality and what your current website is. You're probably, I can't even.
I mean, are we talking hundreds of dollars, thousands, tens of thousands?
Yeah, to rebuild a website, it's going to be thousands of dollars. Probably, I'd say $4,000 to $6,000. If you're just talking about like management and maintenance, we have management and maintenance packages that start at $350 a month. And we can go up from there on writing you personalized search engine optimized blogs. We can do, newsletter creation, all things, websites. We can, grow with your business. So we have, people that are on packages that we do everything. We write 2 blogs a month for them. We send out their newsletters. We, add to their website, increase pages. So you can, you're probably looking at at least a couple $100 a month to just do the basics on your website. But, call me, because, we have packages that can fit pretty much everybody.
Kathy Sexton says, thanks, Tasha. Great information.
Thank you.
And then
I feel like I need to put my glasses on.
Somebody called Fenton Chamber says that remember your directory listing on the Fenton Chamber website is Google friendly, so make sure that it is up to date. And that's a service that is part of your membership. And if you have any questions about that, call Kelly, because she's a genius. I say that because she's helped me with Fenton Chamber listing, and I go to that one occasionally and update it and add things and make sure that it's correct. And it is Google friendly, so you can refer, like Tasha said, refer back to your chamber listing and as well as your website too.
Yes, that chamber, the chamber directory is a great benefit. I mean, I think people don't understand how much it can really help you when you go in and update your information and you link back and forth to the chamber, because the chamber has such a large, reputation on the web that really is it's a huge benefit. So, I agree with that, and Kelly, make sure to go in and check that, increase your engagement. It's a great benefit.
And if you have any questions about your chamber listings or you need to know more about your chamber benefits, Kelly does host a Chamber 101. It's now virtual, so you can sit in your pajamas at home and drink your coffee. But it's great information just to have. And if you haven't been to one in a while, I go once or twice a year just to re-up my game as to what my chamber benefits are. I'm paying for them, so I want to get them. So it's great to have that information at hand. I don't see a lot of other questions. And you can add, yes, and Kelly adds, you can add keywords to your chamber listing, which are Google friendly, which brings you up more. I recommend Googling yourself. Yes, Google yourself. Just put in your company name into the Google search thing and see what comes up. And see if your Facebook comes up, and if your LinkedIn comes up, and if your website comes up, and all that stuff. Anyway, that's a great place to start with all that information. And in the spirit of openness and honesty, Tasha is my web guru. She's my web person, and she has designed a package for me that is a very hybrid package. I add a lot of my own pictures, my own web videos to my website. I do a lot of my own content management. But when I need something technical or something that's out of my realm of understanding, I did not used to know what H1 and H2 were. I do now. I know how to use them, but I didn't. So I would send a message to Tasha and say, "What the heck?" Or "Why isn't this working?" Or "Where's this thing?" And she can go in and fix it and manage the back end of it. So she doesn't mind people who are a real pain in the neck. So
No, it's what we love to do. So that's kind of our brilliant. So we like to help people.
So I can personally vouch
Yeah.
for Tasha's ability to manage the websites and be able to answer dumb questions. So
No, there's no dumb questions.
dumb people asking questions.
You did have a good point though. If you Google yourself and your business, that will tell you where most of your energy has been focused. So if the first search that comes up is Facebook, then that you must have a lot of engagement in Facebook. If the first, that comes up is your website, that's awesome. That's where most of your engagement is happening. So, if you type in your business and the first thing that comes up is the Fenton Chamber, that's awesome because, you're getting that engagement, but that means that, your website isn't necessarily helping you as much, or Facebook isn't helping you as much as you think. So make sure to check that ranking, because that is going to be a good tool to help you, get your visibility out there.
Very good. Well, we have no more questions. Tasha, I want to thank you very much for all the information. You've now given me homework, so now I've got lots of stuff to do and add and change, and wonderful.
One thing Kelly pointed out in the comments, it's very important to check your Google business. I completely agree. Check it, and if there's something wrong, fix it, because Google has. I have a client who changed their phone number, and we've been trying to change it on Google for about 3 weeks. So you have to keep continually. It used to be only 3 days, and you could have it change, but Google continually keeps pushing off that update and then reverting it. So just because you make a change on Google doesn't mean that they're going to take it. So make sure to check back and say, did that change take effect? Yeah. And service areas, Google service area, check your Google service areas, because about 5 months ago, in the beginning of the year, Google changed it. You used to be able to say, I serve within a 25-mile radius of, my area. They took that capability away, and now you have to put, geographical places. So you have to put Fenton, you have to put Chesterfield. So you have to add those. Go and check those, because when they took that radius search away, if you had that radius search, they just randomly assigned you to an area. And in a lot of instances, that didn't correlate to where this business actually was. So check your Google search area. How do we update information on a chamber site? Kathy, Kathy's question is, how do you update information on the chamber site? I would contact Kelly for that. The team there is fabulous.
Yes, Kelly knows all things Chamber Nation related.
Yes.
Chamber's website is on Chamber Nation. Kelly?
Yes, absolutely. I'll be happy to, I'll send you some information, Kathy. I'll have to get you your login and password and get you started on that. But there's some simple, easy steps that you can take right at the beginning to kind of get that process started, and you can continually update it, add information. You can kind of lay your base. As Thad knows, you can do as much or as little as you want, and just continually update that. And really, not only does it help Google, but it also helps people find you via the search function on the Chamber directory. So, think of the directory as someone Googling, services. So through your login, essentially what you can do is there's actually a report that you can run just with a click of a button, and it will show you all of the times that people are searching for items and are not coming up with a directory listing attached to that keyword. So if you know that that keyword fits your business, add it in. You know, that's the best thing that you can do. It's an incredible tool. It's constantly being reworked and updated. And Kathy, I'll be happy to send you that information, as well as everybody else.
And I'll speak for many small business owners. This is a lot of information that has nothing to do with your core product or service, but this is your marketing. This is how you get your information into the eyes of your potential customers. So it's drastically important. And short of having your own blimp, you need to get your information in front of the eyes of the people that are looking for you. So all of this stuff can be overwhelming and can be mind-numbing. I understand that. I do this stuff too, but it's very important. So either get very smart and learn how to do this yourself, or find someone smart and have them help you do it. And between Kelly and Tasha right here, you've got great resources from people that know how to do this stuff, and they can walk you through it. They can help you with it. Or they can just do it for you. Whatever you're more comfortable with. So anyway, Tasha, thank you very much.
Thank you
for everything. Kelly, do you have anything last minute Fenton Chamber related?
I don't have anything urgent. As everybody knows, we are getting back into the swing of things with our in-person events. We do have a business after hours tonight. I know that. I think I saw you sign up. So if you are planning to attend, please let me know so we can get you registered. It will be a smaller function, as we are limiting capacity, of course. So as you know, as we learn more about you know, COVID and how to operate on a more consistent basis, we are pretty much limited to the smaller, you know, smaller capacity events. We're still going to do our luncheons. Our next luncheon is on August 5th, August 5, if that didn't come clearly. We will be focusing on our nonprofit organizations in the chamber. So watch for your registration for that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Kelly, for putting this all together. And Tasha, thanks again for the great information. And everyone, will be seeing you soon at a chamber event, hopefully in person, if not, at least virtually in your own little Brady Bunch box.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Tasha.
Thanks. Bye-bye.